Sterling short stories. Step into the story. A burglar's nightmare. It was supposed to be an easy score. The old lady who lived at the end of Briarwood Lane had a reputation around town for being eccentric and wealthy. Carter and Dylan, small-time burglars with a knack for picking easy targets, couldn't resist. They'd heard she rarely left the house and had no family to speak of. Rumors of her hoarded wealth only sweetened the deal. "This is going to be a cakewalk," Dylan had said, grinning as they parked their van down the block under the cover of darkness. But as they approached the house, something felt off. The air was colder near the property, and the wrought iron gates groaned like dying animals when they pushed them open. The house itself loomed like a dark sentinel, its windows reflecting the moonlight like unblinking eyes. The old lady had greeted them earlier that week when they scoped out the place, offering tea and a disarmingly sweet smile. Her milky white eyes suggested she was blind, and her frail frame made her seem harmless. "You boys seem nice," she'd said. "You're welcome to visit any time." Now, standing at her doorstep with a crowbar in hand, Carter couldn't shake the feeling that they were making a mistake. "Stop stalling," Dylan hissed, jamming a lockpick into the door. It clicked open with surprising ease. "See, she's practically inviting us in." The interior was worse than they imagined. The house reeked of mildew and something metallic like rusted iron. Dust motes danced in the air, disturbed by their footsteps. The wallpaper was peeling, revealing strange, dark stains beneath. And the silence, it was oppressive, as if the house itself were holding its breath. "Let's split up," Carter whispered. "Faster that way." Dylan nodded, heading toward the parlor while Carter moved upstairs. Each step on the creaky staircase felt like a gunshot in the stillness. He opened the first door he came to and froze. The room was filled with dolls, their glassy eyes reflecting his flashlight beam. Each doll's face was frozen in a grotesque expression of fear or agony. He quickly backed out, his pulse racing. Downstairs, Dylan rummaged through drawers, stuffing silver candlesticks and old jewelry into his bag. He paused when he heard a menacing laugh behind him. Spinning around, he saw nothing but shadows. "Carter?" he called out, his voice cracking. No answer. Then the lights went out. "This isn't funny, man," Dylan shouted, fumbling for his flashlight. When he turned it on, the beam landed on the old lady standing in the doorway, her sightless eyes fixed on him. But she wasn't frail anymore. Her hunched frame straightened, her lips curling into a grin far too wide for her face. "Leaving so soon?" she asked, her voice dripping with malice. Dylan screamed as her shadow stretched across the room, swallowing him whole. Upstairs, Carter heard the scream and bolted. He found himself in a long hallway that hadn't been there before. Doors lined either side, each one creaking open slightly as he passed. Inside, he glimpsed horrors he couldn't comprehend. Writhing figures, walls that bled, and a mirror that reflected not his face but a corpse's. Panicked, he turned back, only to find the hallway gone. In its place was the old lady, her grin now impossibly wide, revealing rows of jagged, yellowed teeth. "I told you," she whispered. "You're always welcome here." Carter backed away, tripping over something soft. Looking down, he saw Dylan's lifeless body, his face twisted in terror. Before he could react, hands burst from the floor, dragging him down into the darkness. When Carter awoke, he was strapped to a chair in the parlor. The old lady sat across from him, sipping tea as if nothing had happened. "You boys thought you could rob me?" she asked, her tone light and conversational. She gestured around, and Carter's eyes widened. The walls were adorned with portraits of other burglars, their faces frozen in terror. "What are you?" he croaked. Her grin returned, and her form began to shift. Her frail body elongated, her eyes turning black as pitch. "I'm the one who cleans up this town," she said, her voice now layered with countless others. "And you, dear boy, are my newest addition." As she leaned closer, Carter's screams echoed through the house, joining the symphony of cries that had been trapped there for decades. Outside, the house stood alone, silent and still, waiting for its next visitors, who were sure to come, but never leave. Like and subscribe to Sterling Short Stories on YouTube, but only if you dare. Sterling Short Stories. Step into the story.